What's it like to be a Christian in an overwhelmingly Muslim country here?
Well, Christians here in Jordan have always felt, really one and the same with the Muslims in Jordan. And it goes back thousands of years, really, Tucker. So it's always felt like we're really one and the same. Islam is very much an integral part of our culture as Christians here. Yeah, we feel very comfortable.
As Christians here?
As Christians, absolutely.
So you went to school, a number of very prominent schools in the United States. You spent a lot of time living in the U.S., so you know that most Americans are going to be surprised to hear that.
Oh, of course. I mean, a lot of my American friends, when I first met them, they were surprised that, I'm Christian from Jordan. And I'm like, what do you mean? I mean, this is where Christianity started, right? We are the ancient Christians.
Islam is an integral part of the culture for Christians here. What does that mean?
Well, look, it's the faith traditions are so similar. If you look at the Quran, for example, the Quran is Jesus was mentioned 25 plus times in the Quran. And he was mentioned under different words, different names. So Isa is what his name is in Arabic. The Word of God, that's actually from the Quran. The Messiah, Al-Masih. That's also Ibn Maryam, son of Maryam. The other thing that you might find interesting is also the Virgin Mary, right? I mean, she was mentioned 30 plus times in the Quran. She's revered, right? Actually, she was the only woman whose name was actually mentioned in the Quran. No other name of a woman has been. I mean, there was...
Really?
Absolutely. Maryam's is the only name that's named by name in the Quran as a woman.
As the mother of Jesus.
As the mother of Jesus. There is a whole chapter in the Quran just dedicated for the Virgin Mary. So you can see, and of course the same prophets, many of the same prophets, whether it's Elijah or Moses or Abraham or, they're in the Quran, as they are in the New Testament and the Old Testament. So the faith traditions are very similar. So that's why the Muslims are actually very accepting of the Christian faith traditions. They are encompassing of the Christian faith traditions. So yeah, I mean...
And you're saying this as a Christian?
I'm saying this as a Christian here in Jordan. Absolutely.
I'm at a disadvantage because I have not read the Quran. Mm-hmm. I'll just say that. But we have been taught for 25 years, since 9/11, that Islam is inherently hostile to Christianity. But you don't believe that? I
totally disagree with that. I think hostility is, is a human thing.
Yes.
You find humans on all sides of the spectrum that are, compassionate or hostile. That's a common thing across humanity, across the world. But to demonize one religion, to say everyone in that religion is hostile, is an atrocity, Tucker. It's absolutely not true.
I agree with you. Did you experience discrimination growing up here as a Christian?
Never. I've never felt discriminated against as a Christian.
That's true?
It is true. There's another story on the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. I think it shows you just how old these traditions are in the region and how welcoming it used to be to people from across all faiths, be they Jewish or Christian or Muslim, right, in the past. So since, I think 1,000 years ago, since Salahuddin or Saladin, right?
Yeah.
The keys to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, did not belong to any of the Christian denominations because they couldn't agree amongst themselves, right? The Armenian, the Orthodox, the Catholic, Ethiopian, like who's going to have the key to the church, right? And actually that key was handed to, at the time, Salahuddin. And even today, those keys are handed to a Muslim family. It's, I think, the Nsebe family of Jerusalem. They open the church in the morning, and they close the church at night. So that's the kind of these are the stories we grew up with as Christians in the region, as Muslims in the region, even as Arab Jews, right, from the region. This is sort of the faith and the common faith and cultural tradition we grew up with here. So a lot of the stuff that we see today is very new, These are lines drawn in the sand by colonial powers that really sort of destroyed that social cohesion and the social fabric that existed here.
My complete outsider perspective at the time when the official capital of the state of Israel moved from Tel Aviv, a city of recent creation, to Jerusalem, a city that, as noted, long predates the state of Israel, was that Jerusalem changed from an international holy site to a kind of government garrison run by a city-state, run by a nation-state. And that's probably not good for the Christians. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah, I think Jerusalem belongs to all people, right?
It certainly doesn't belong to Bibi. It's not his. He didn't make it. None of those buildings was built by the government of Israel. Sorry.
Oh.
So, but now it kind of feels like it belongs to Bibi. Is that, again, this is my perspective from thousands of miles away, but it's just interesting, and you know this because you spent so much time in the United States, that I don't think it would enter the minds of most Americans that a Christian could be better treated here in Jordan than in Israel.
Yeah, I don't think it's just the Christians. I think, there's the occupation is an equal opportunity.
For sure.
Right? The Christians
I don't think
the
it's
Muslims.
primarily the Christians,
right.
But what makes it galling from an American perspective, I am American, I see everything through the lens of the United States and its own interests, is that America is paying for this.
Yeah.
And America is a majority Christian country. So, I mean, we can all have different views about what our foreign policy ought to be, but I don't think many Americans are in favor of a foreign policy that oppresses their fellow Christians.
I hope not. I hope not. I mean,
you see the point.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think, I mean, my advice would be to the Christians that really care in the U.S. is talk to us. Talk to the ancient Christians. You know, we've been here since Christ. We're here. Don't just listen to the D.C. experts. You know.
Well, so you don't? They don't reach out to you?
No. In fact, I think what I'm sharing with you today is something that's novel, right? This is not a narrative. I don't think. I mean, that you hear, right? In the U.S. a lot.
Ever. I feel shame listening to you, and I rarely feel shame, but I do feel shame listening to you that I didn't know more about this because I am a Christian, and I think we have an obligation to know what our tax dollars do to our fellow Christians. And I just haven't spent enough time thinking about it. And I think it's very odd that Christians in Jordan and in Israel aren't receiving help from Christians in the West.
And this is important to mention, Tucker, but possibly the most destabilizing thing happening in the region, right, is the situation in Israel-Palestine. Without a just resolution, a just resolution for the situation of the Palestinians there, it's going to be even more destabilizing for communities in Palestine, in Jordan, across the region.
Well, how about the United States? I mean, so, you fund mass murder in Gaza and there's no blowback to you? I think there's probably going to be, wouldn't you think?